Stands are by far the most popular and iconic element in Jojo's bizarre adventure. Not only do they have drip, but each have their own unique abilities that make them formidable in a fight, no matter how useless they seem from a surface. Stands are in fact so used that one may forget that Jojo had a variety of other power systems. Whether they run on the power of the sun or rotation, these abilities are enough to make anyone a formidable threat. I'd even say they're a lot more powerful than many stands out there. However, which of these alternate power systems are the greatest, and which would come out on top? Now to evaluate, we need to lay some ground rules. First, how much destructive power do these abilities bring? And second, how versatile are these abilities? With these rules established, let's jump right in. Hammond Energy is the first power system introduced in Jojo. With Hammond Energy, a user can imitate the energy from the sun through the use of precise breathing. Anyone can theoretically use Hammond, but only one in every couple thousand of people can use it effectively. It's also possible to inherit Hammond if you had an ancestor that possessed it. The Hammond manifests as yellow energy that can be used in a variety of ways. The most basic application of Hammond is its healing properties. Hammond can be used to heal injuries, cure sicknesses, and make flowers bloom. More precise control of it even allows for extending one's lifespan. Mastering Hammond can give some users the ability to see into the future with 100% accuracy. When it comes to offensive capabilities, Hammond increases the strength and speed of an individual. Infusing Hammond into a non-user can hypnotize them for a short time. Hammond can also be infused into objects, giving them many different properties. Certain things conduct Hammond better than others, but it makes anything into an effective weapon. Bottle caps can become deadly projectiles, and bubbles can almost be as dense as rock. Even crackers can become deadly weapons. It looks like it stiffens and magnetizes objects, making normally harmless things deadly tools. Hammond on one's fingertips even allows them to climb walls. Hammond flows most effectively through liquids, allowing a user to walk on water, or even turn wine into deadly projectiles. Hammond may not be too useful against living things, as it passes through them safely most of the time. Its main purpose is to fight the undead or supernatural. Vampires especially are vulnerable to Hammond due to their weakness to sunlight, which Hammond imitates. Hammond doesn't instantly kill them, however, so a user will still have a tough time with them. There exists a peak of Hammond that almost no user has reached. Kara's was the only one to showcase it, but it seems to have more destructive potential than normal Hammond, as it melts parts of Joseph's body. Since Hammond can be infused into almost anything, it's extremely versatile and has a multitude of uses. Users can even give their Hammond to someone else to increase their power. Despite this, Hammond has a major weakness, since it's based on breathing. Heavily injuring your opponent or damaging the breathing process in any way halts the effectiveness of Hammond. Stone masks are designed to unlock the hidden potential of all living things. By making contact with blood and putting on the mask, tendrils shoot into the back of one's head, activating certain parts of the brain, and releasing limitations to the body. The human now has massively increased strength and speed. The individual can now even walk up walls. The healing properties of the body become massively improved, as any damage, no matter how fatal, can be healed with ease. If you are at a life-threatening age, the mask can revert you to a younger age. The healing properties also grants them immortality. Removing the head doesn't even matter. Not only will they survive, but they now gain the ability to swap with someone else's body. Speaking of which, the head swapping ability extends to body parts of other animals, allowing them to create human-animal hybrids. Offensively, individuals can now freeze someone with a single touch. Fully freezing someone leaves them open for an insta-kill. Vampires can shoot powerful lasers out of their eyes, which are powerful enough to cleanly cut through rock. Others can be turned into vampires when given blood, although they won't be as powerful as the ones who use the stone mask. Other than that, the dead can be brought back to life, even if they've been dead for a while. These dead will now follow your every order. If raising the dead isn't your thing, flesh buds can be planted on an individual's head, allowing for a form of mind control. Since you're now a vampire, blood will obviously need to be consumed. Unlike traditional vampires, The blood is sucked through the fingertips, but they have fangs so you can probably suck it through your mouth if you're feeling kinky. Drinking blood allows a vampire to better heal their injuries, no matter how severe. Some vampires can even manipulate their bodies to an extreme degree, such as forming spikes on the body made up of hair. It's worth noting, however, that a vampire will instantly die when exposed to sunlight. They're also vulnerable to Hamon energy. Vampires have massive destructive power and have potential to be very versatile, depending on how they mix and match their abilities. The spin is a phenomenon that allows objects to rotate to near perfection. Although it was originally created for the art of execution, being used to relax the muscles of inmates, the spin has a multitude of other uses. A spin can be applied to almost any object, whether it's a rock or a pin of a bottle. They don't seem to be very useful at first. Since they aren't perfect spears, they cannot achieve a perfect rotation. But when applied to a specialized object like a steel ball, which are perfect spears, the spin becomes much more powerful. When thrown, the steel balls create powerful impacts that heavily damage others. This isn't special on its own, but when imbued with the spin, they can control the skin and muscle of others. Those affected have their bodies forcefully moved in certain directions. Even those that are paralyzed are able to temporarily move their limbs. A gunman, for example, can have their muscles forcefully turn weapons against them. Rotating skin can also make it so dense that it deflects bullet fire. When applied in other ways, the spin can flatten your body parts, allowing one to fit into tight spaces or tighten skin around the body, altering their appearance. The steel balls can also be applied to objects. When carving into rocks, it can create dust or miniature projectiles. They can even make bullets by carving metal into those shapes. Objects can be twisted away from individuals, and water can be used to create barriers and whirlpools. When using their rotational energy on the ground, the steel balls can create vibrations that can be used to locate certain enemies. The steel balls aren't the only way to attack. The wrecking balls are embedded with miniature balls that fly out when in contact with an object. When they miss, they release energy that makes certain parts of objects or people invisible, thereby disorienting them. There exists a perfect rotation that can be achieved called a golden rotation. When using the rotation of a horse running in their natural state, one can achieve an infinite rotation that has a variety of different effects. For Gyro, it was Ball Breaker, a sort of stand manifested from infinite rotational energy. Ball Breaker can pass through the almost impenetrable defenses of D4 Seal-Up Train, and seems to force rapid aging on those it touches. When the infinite rotation is applied to an already existing stand, they can make them much more powerful. Tusk Act 4 can force anyone into an infinite rotation spin, and Soft and Wet can now fire bubbles that go beyond logic and calamity. All this wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for the Golden Rectangle, a shape that can be found in almost everything in nature. The Golden Rectangle allows spin users to better aim and power the spin. Only objects created by nature itself can possess the Golden Rectangle, so man-made things cannot be used. The only real weakness of spin users is that putting them in an area with little to no golden rectangles can put them at a big disadvantage. Now with all that out of the way, which is the greatest power system in Jojo? Right off the bat, Hamon is the weakest. Now I know it's extremely versatile, based on the fact that it can power up almost any object and heal injuries. But because it's a kind of life energy, it's only particularly useful against the undead. Hamon doesn't have much destructive power. We've seen it destroy rock, but it cannot do the same for steel or other metals. Users of the Stone Mask are formidable. They're pretty much invincible, and have many abilities. They can also create armies of undead to help achieve their goals. Their only problem is the fact that they cannot be in sunlight, which is a giant handicap. A user of Hamon is also capable of ending their ambitions. The spin is by far the best alternative power system. It has a multitude of uses when it comes to combat, some of which Gyro hasn't even fully accessed. It also manifests a powerful rotational energy that bypasses the laws of reality and powers up existing stands to an extreme degree. A stand which could only really fire fingernails suddenly has the power to solo 90% of stands in Jojo, all thanks to the infinite rotation. I wouldn't say any of these power systems are weak or bad in any way. Each of them have their own applications that make an individual incredibly powerful. Let's just be glad that each of them had a chance to shine.
Arrivederci.